If you ask a smartphone user what they would want out of their smartphone, they'll probably tell you better battery life, better cameras, a better display, and such. I doubt any smartphone user will say, oh, I wish my phone was just about 3 millimeters thinner. Oh, my phone is a little too thick. I wish it was just thinner. But here we are in 2025, and it seems like everybody and their mom is coming out with slim smartphones. We're going to have the iPhone 17 later this year. We already have the Samsung S25 Edge, and we also have the Tecno Spark Slim, which in my opinion is probably the best executed out of the three. The question is, did we really ask for slimmer smartphones? Why are they making slimmer smartphones? And would these smartphones even sell or take off at all? My name is Melvin, and if you're new to the channel, please hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. We're trying to get to 300 subscribers and we're so close. And don't forget to like if you found the video informative. It's not like we've not seen thin smartphones before. I mean, the iPhone 6 was one of the thinnest smartphones at the time when it released, at about 6.8 millimeters or so. And we all know what happened with those phones. They had a lot of bend gate issues, and a lot of complaints around those phones about battery life as well. And those are probably the usual concerns with slimmer smartphones. But it's almost 10 years later, and technology has evolved in such a way that we might be able to afford thinner smartphones now. In what ways is the question? So first of all, a huge problem with the iPhone 6 series when it came out was battery life. Now, in 2025, we have silicon carbon batteries, which is a completely new material which allows for you to pack way more milliamp hours into a battery in smaller spaces, so with lesser sized batteries. I'm already seeing this in a couple of new phones coming out, allowing them to heat up to 7,000 mAh on a regular brick style phone. What this would do for a slower phone is to allow for maybe a battery of about 4,500 or 5,000 mAh, which would be good enough for a phone. But here's the problem. Samsung have already released their S25 Edge, and that didn't take advantage of the silicon carbon batteries, as they came with a 3900 lithium polymer battery, which for the price of the phone, when other phones around that price are going to be coming with 5000 mAh batteries, it's not good enough. And I've seen some reviews on the battery life of the phone, which, while they are not too bad, for the amount that is paid, you can get phones with way better battery life. Are you going to compromise your battery just for the thinness? Now with the iPhone 17, it's even worse, because this is also not taking advantage of the silicon carbon batteries. Instead, we are getting a 2800 milliamp hour battery. That is insane in 2025. I honestly think that this phone is going to have abysmal battery life, kind of reminiscent of like an iPhone 12 mini. And as we all heard, they literally had to kill the 12 mini line because people were just not buying it, mainly because the battery was terrible. That was like the biggest problem with the 12 mini. The battery was terrible. But with the Tecno Spark Slim, that uses a silicon carbon battery. So Tecno out of the three are the only ones using the silicon carbon battery, and they've been able to squeeze in a 5400 milliamp hour battery into their phone. That will probably perform just as well as a regular smartphone. So that's all good on Tecno's end. Now, another huge problem with slimmer phones is bending. We saw a lot of bend gate with the iPhone 6 series. It was terrible. But now again, in 2025, the tech has matured in a way that we have more premium materials which can probably allow for us to prevent bend gate. A lot of phones now come in titanium, like with the iPhones. So S25 Edge has been released, of course, and it came in titanium. That will obviously help in bending. I've not seen any videos on bend gate yet. I'm pretty sure that Jerry Rick, everything is probably cooking up something, but I've not seen anything about bend gate. But with the iPhone 17 Air, you would think that Apple would use titanium in their iPhone 17 Air. But no, because this year all their flagship devices are switching away from titanium back to aluminum because of saving the environment, which I commend. But still, how is the 17 Air going to survive? I don't know yet, but I feel like they're going to employ a similar tactic to the iPad Air, where they put a metal strip in the middle just to prevent it from bending. The Tecno Spark Slim, to be honest, I don't know exactly what material it is made of. I think it might even be plastic, but again, that phone has never been released yet and is more so a concept phone. Another huge problem with slim phones is going to be the cameras, because over the years, camera sensors have become way bigger and phones have naturally become thicker with huge camera bumps just to be able to accommodate these huge sensors and these huge cameras. But now that we're making the phones thinner, we obviously cannot do that. With the Samsung S25 Edge, we already saw that they had to reduce the megapixel count for the ultra-wide camera on the Edge compared to the Ultra, as well as the main camera having a smaller sensor. This is a compromise on the camera. Now, whether or not it's a huge compromise, it is still a compromise. I'm not going to be paying so much amount of money for compromises just for thinness. Also, heat management might be a huge problem with slim phones, because with a smaller internal space to work with, the heat might not be able to flow around evenly spaced so that it doesn't affect a particular component. So heating might be a problem with these phones. Again, the S25 Edge is really out and it doesn't have any heating issues. Thankfully for Samsung's very efficient vapor chamber. All those are the main issues we have in slim phones. I can say that the technology in 2025 is enough to counter most of these and make it actually a good phone. Also, people might say that they don't really want thin phones or they didn't specifically ask for thin phones. Sometimes he'll give us what we need, it may not be what we want. That's Kanye West. Slim phones look really nice and they feel so nice in the hand. And also fitting it into your pocket, it just feels easier, lighter. It's a better way to carry your phone, especially for ladies. Ladies sometimes they have really tight jeans, tight pants. It's an easy way to just slip it in. For guys, we can actually carry a whole power bank in our pockets. But the amount of compromises that will have to come for us to achieve that is insane. I'm also hearing that Apple plans to sell some battery pack cases with the iPhone 17 Air, so that if the battery life is completely terrible, then you can also obviously slap on that case and it will be charging via MagSafe. That is insane to me, because you literally paid money to have a thin phone. What's the point of slapping such a huge behemoth at the back of your phone, making it even thicker than a 16 Pro Max or even a 16 Pro? And another thing is that, you know, we had earphones in the box, but now we have earphones sold separately. We had the charger in the box, but now we have the charger sold separately. This is about to be, we have the battery in the box, but now we're going to be having the battery sold separately, which is just insane capitalism. Like I said, the technology 2025 is good enough to rectify all of these issues, or in fact, most of these issues. But it wasn't employed. We have the S25 Edge and the 17 Air, and they didn't take advantage of most of these technologies. Maybe Samsung did a little with the titanium, but for the battery, it's just a huge miss, to be honest. And you can say maybe 2026, the next version of the iPhone 18 Air or the S26 Edge will take advantage of the silicon carbon batteries, and maybe we'll have batteries that are about 5,000 milliamp hours or 5,500 or whatever. I feel like first impression matters. First impression matters a whole lot. And if they go out and release this phone and people buy it and they have terrible experiences with battery life, those experiences would be lasting and it will influence the next generation of buyers of the next phones, and people might shy away from it, just like it was with the 12 mini and 13 mini. Even though 13 mini had better battery life than the 12 mini, people still ran away from it because of the first experience with the first mini line. So yeah, I feel like Apple and Samsung are probably shit the bed on this one, and I don't really see the slim phones going so far. Dead on arrival, in my opinion. They'll be out.